All right, welcome to the Pretty Huge Cinema podcast. I am your host, Jacob Barrett. I think episode two went much better than the first one did. Things got a little easier talking in a room all by myself. It was slightly easier to go through a straight list of topics instead of just going over what I think the podcast will be. So I think it went better. Hopefully, it comes across that way. Still got the same area, still got the same dead plant that my wife is supposed to be in charge of watering those, but it happens. We'll just go and get new ones. It's difficult to tell when to water them. Whatever makes her happy with it. I think it's supposed to help the air in here. If it does, I don't know how to measure that. We're not doing an air quality check in here. As long as the carbon monoxide detector doesn't go off, which I'm not 100% sure that it does work. I think so. I think there are batteries in it and there's a green light on it. But besides hitting the test button, I haven't heard it go off. So I think that's good. I think that means the heater works. We'll see one day if we wake up with a headache from it, but I think we'll be good. Been here long enough for it. The second episode went better. The haircut, I think it was pretty good. Went to a local barbershop place instead of a chain. I think it went better. Yeah, it was more of a manlier place, I guess. A lot of older people getting their haircut there, which I think that was a better decision and probably go back there in about 3 months or so. Got multiple comments on how thick my hair was. That was nice to hear. Not not having the barber say, "Oh, it looks like it's thinning here. Do you want me to leave a little extra there?" Not having to deal with that. Then I talked to her about seeing fake hair, the not fake hair, the implants that people get from other places. She said it's noticeable for her, but after a little bit, it's harder to tell. But she was very skeptical on it, so we had a good joke about that. But yeah, I think the haircut went well. So episode two went better. This is episode three. We'll see. I got a list of things to talk about this time. I might need to take a class on creativity or read a book on it or Google it, how to be more creative. But I think just living life, being present in things, doing things, you have enough experiences where you can go through. If you think about the previous day you had in the previous week, there'd be moments like, oh, this stuck out. Oh, I'd like to discuss more of this. So I think for now, I can just go that, just listening through topics of what goes through my head because very start. We'll see once it gets up into the higher numbers, but I'll get to that when I get there. For now, I think creativity will be enough. Or if I get feedback saying all these topics have been talked about, it's not bringing anything new to it. But I think there are some ways to do that, or just different elements to make that, which that's one of the ways that made this podcast is to get more creative, more topics that I want to talk about instead of just sitting by myself thinking about them, putting them out, seeing if other people agree with them, maybe some fixes for things. If I run into a home issue where I need something fixed, a new part made, maybe someone will have some some ideas how to do that instead of me not fixing it and just dealing with it. But the creativity part, I think this just makes me more noticeable about what things happen in my day. If I see something, oh, that's kind of weird that happened. Let me write that down, maybe put more thought into it. I think that's going better. One issue that might be happening is storing up the podcasts of having, because right now I'm trying to do them pretty weekly, but I'm not releasing them yet. Then again, these might never get released. And if I do start a podcast, it might be completely different. These are all test runs, just practice runs. But either way, I think this has been going about how I expect so far. I gotta make sure in each of these episodes I also wear something different for it and note about what it is. I think it would be pretty easy if I was wearing the same thing. Kind of be like one of those videos where you see the teachers just come in with the same outfit every single day, the same picture every year in the yearbook. I don't think it would be too difficult for me to do that. But I said, I want to keep it kind of bland, I would say, not too distracting. But see, once I get a little more comfortable, change that up. I almost, for a sec, almost did this in a plain white t-shirt because I forgot to put on a longer sleeve shirt, but thankfully that didn't happen. The times going forward, it might be, I think the last one was 40 minutes. First one was like an hour 20, unless I cut something. But I don't think I will. I don't think anything's that bad. There might be not, there's some interesting parts, some not as interesting parts. Hey, you get to go to bed, can't all be too focused, too listening to every word. So I enjoy podcasts where I can kind of just go in and out of focus on it. Ones where, oh, I'm listening to this, oh, I gotta do working, but don't necessarily want to pause it because I'm just pausing every couple seconds for it. There's creativity class. I also might need to look more into marketing because the marketing part of it, gotta get this out there. Besides social medias, I don't know. Gotta go through the psychology of how to get someone to listen. That just sounds a little manipulative of trying to find things just so that people will listen or tune in for it, which that sounds more of like advertising places that are selling something. But I guess for podcasts, you are trying to sell people, convince them to listen to you. That's also an area that I haven't looked into at all, haven't done anything with the marketing. I'm sticking on the consumer side of it, haven't been trying to sell things to anyone, but that might be a good idea for at some point doing and looking into, but haven't done that yet. Okay, so one of the topics I'm going to talk about today is discussing holiday travel. Now, as you from the previous episode, had the Christmas tree. Now I just turned the camera slightly, no particular reason for it. Holiday travel, I am not a big fan of it. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who also aren't big fans of it. It's just so chaotic at the airports. I got multiple emails from the airlines saying your flight it's gonna be super busy. Get there 2 hours ahead of time for domestic flights, which I thought people were supposed to do that anyway. I guess there are a number of people who don't. I think I know a couple people who they say, "Oh, an hour ahead's enough time." Not for me. I'm not. I also don't have the clear or the TSA pre-check. I'm just going the lowest level, the just regular TSA, which it's been fine so far. I haven't had too many issues with it, but I might get TSA pre-check here soon. It's not a crazy expensive thing to do. You just have to go through the process of filling out the paperwork for it. I haven't done that yet. Also, with the holiday travel, it's I have vacation time. Employer gives so many holiday vacation days. Why would I give those holidays up, those relaxations from work, to go through the stressful event of travel? I have the option of staying in my apartment, staying in my bed, eating the food I like, working out more, reading more, just relaxing. I could do that in comfort of my own home, or I could plan this stressful flight, go through the airport once on the way there, once on the way back, hope my bag doesn't get lost, try to set up where I'm going to stay at. Am I going to stay with a family member? Am I going to stay at a hotel where everyone else there is also on holiday travel and everyone's just super stressed trying to get all these things done? Or can I just relax? I would prefer doing the travel more just throughout the year on non-holidays because that allows for not everyone else is here, more relaxing, more flexibility on the days I travel. For Thanksgiving, I think I've decided to not, at least for now, not travel during Thanksgiving. That I think everyone else knows this is the worst week to travel because everyone's just trying to travel in that 1 week period. They're leaving like the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. They're flying back Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. There's so many days everyone is flying all over the place. Christmas, there's a little more flexibility where you can fly a couple days before Christmas. You can fly between Christmas and New Year's. But everyone is mostly flying back after the New Year's. There are a lot of people there but that was a little easier. So I've done that a couple times. And yeah, it's not as much hassle. Some of the ones where it's just a single day, like Memorial Day, Labor Day, those ones, I don't think I would travel for anyway, because again, that's just one day. Other breaks from work and stuff get the entire week off. But I enjoy doing travel not around the holidays. Because then there's also not everyone else there who is also on travel for it, so they're not stressed about it. But why would I give up the relaxation? Oh, I don't have to leave my apartment all day. Oh, I can work out twice in a day. Or I can read for an extended period and not have people pulling me around everywhere, not having to plan for things. Just being stressed overall. But that's just how I enjoy doing my holiday travel. There are probably people who enjoy going out more for it, but I don't like doing that. I do got to figure out, well, I don't need to figure out. My idea is how if I buy a gift for my wife, how do I hide purchases for that? We do have combined bank accounts. So there are some married couples who don't. Not fully sure why that is. They just enjoy having them separated. When, which I don't know, makes it funny for me when I go through Venmo and see people who I know are married are Venmoing each other. That is what I just don't get the reason for that. It's pretty funny to see that. I don't know what they're Venmoing each other for. They're Venmoing the mortgage. I think if it was for groceries, that would be pretty funny to do. But it's Venmoing for regular everyday things. I don't get that. Is it the way bank accounts are set up? That's a funny thing I see. And the other side of it is why, who isn't on Venmo private for their transactions? That's also a crazy thing that I think. Yeah, my Venmo transactions are pretty bland. Entertainment tickets going back and forth for things, maybe some splitting food, going out with friends, which some of the time it's not even worth going in there, just paying it and it being whatever. But why I don't want other people knowing that I'm on Venmo doing that. But I don't know, some people, I don't know if they know they're public for it or what they got going on with it, but they don't have them private, which I think they should. I don't know. Or maybe I might need to get Cash App and Zelle just to see what people's transactions are. It's kind of like a new social media because you can like them, you can comment on them, say, oh, this is a funny purchase, but I don't get why they do that. But I need to figure out how to get money out of the bank account without my wife knowing. Which people do that for other reasons, but I think for buying gifts, you figure there should be an option where you can say, "Oh, don't show this to my wife," but it's for a gift for her, definitely, not for any other nefarious reason, just for the gift part of it. Which, yeah, some people might not like that, but I think it should be possible. Because if I get cash, she'll ask, "Whoa, what's that cash for? Where'd it go?" I can't say, oh, I was holding on to it, like just in case, no worries for it. That would also be suspicious. If I just got Visa gift cards, I could just tell her not to look at the bank account for it, but yeah, that would make her more suspicious of telling her not to. But maybe I'll figure that out one day. So there also, if I bought a microphone or a video camera for this, I gotta tell her about that and saying, "Oh, I'm a podcaster now." That'd be, I might be kind of embarrassed about asking for that, which I don't know, might be the case, might not be. Haven't put too much thought into it. That could be. Those are purchases where it's like they're not bad things, they're not causing issues, but I just don't want questions about this just because, yeah, slightly embarrassed on it. Okay. But if we don't always get Christmas gifts with each other, which I enjoy doing that, makes it less stressful. Overall, I don't like opening Christmas gifts for it, which I think I talked about that last time. Getting gifts for other adults for Christmas. because you don't see them open it. Oh, I talked about like, oh, man, am I repeating myself already? I need to get better topics for this. This, the gifts in general, if you're not around people opening them and the people are old enough to buy their own things, why am I buying them gifts? You know what you like. And I'm also not going to send you a gift card. That's just giving you money. Oh, I give you an Amazon gift card for 50. Oh, you give me an Amazon gift card for 40. Well, no, that's just pretty much me giving you 10 bucks. And if we both give each other $50 Amazon gift cards, then there was no point in that. I could have just saved my money, used what I wanted. And if you aren't with them constantly, you don't know what stuff they have. You don't want to get them necessarily decorations for their house. They could have a whole different idea of how they want to decorate. Oh, this poster you got me, thanks. This garden thing you got me, thanks. But they don't want that. So that could be difficult for it. And I don't necessarily like it anymore. I haven't fully gone to saying to my family that I don't want gifts. I'm thinking about doing it this year. I think I said it to a couple people, but I haven't done that yet. Because then they might ask, "Oh, is there a reason for this? Is it are you sad about something? Why don't you want gifts anymore?" But I don't necessarily like them most. Just receiving gifts because I don't know. I can just buy my own stuff. If I want something, I'll go get it. So if you ask me what I need for Christmas, I don't need anything. What do you want for Christmas? I don't really want anything because if I want something, I'll go and get it. Or if it's more money, more expensive, you're not going to buy it for me anyway. If I want something that's 500 to $1,000, you're not getting that from me for Christmas. You'll get me, I don't know if you get me things that add up to that amount, but you're not just going to give me that one thing. If I want a new iPhone, you're not buying that for me. I got to save up for it. And me not buying gifts would help me do that. But I would still do birthdays. Birthdays, I think, are more of an accomplishment because, hey, you made an entire year. And it's more for that person. I think it's more special for them rather than Christmas. Oh, it's everyone getting me gifts for it. But I'm sure that'll change when kids start getting in the mix. If my wife and I do, if others in my family do. But even then, when the kids are young enough, they don't even remember the Christmases. I don't know what year they'll start remembering Christmases, but if you get a baby who's like 1 or 2 years old, it'd be difficult for them to remember what you got them. If you got them clothes, they'll grow out of it in a short period of time. If you got them a toy, they got so many toys already. Anything that just rattles or makes noise, I just add it to the bin because they'll probably have a bunch of toys already. It's not like they're short on toys. They'll already have them. But yeah, Christmas gifts. Yeah, as a kid, obviously enjoyed getting them, waited to get them. But now, not so much. When we get gifts from other people that are supposed to be for Christmas, open them immediately. I'm not waiting. I'm not going to put them under my tree and wait. Not doing this all together anyway, so I'm gonna open it, and if I like it, I'm gonna start using it. If not, I'll hold on to it for a month or so, and then I'll throw it away. Or I'll put it with other things that I rarely use. I'll hide it away in my closet, but not yet. I don't know. Some people, not some people, but even for the gifts, I'm not gonna waste wrapping paper. I do not like wrapping paper. Wrapping paper, I don't know. I get why it's there to put things under a tree. It's all nice. That's one of the things where you get it, it wraps the presents for a week tops if you get the gifts that early, but then it's just thrown away. It's not used for a different purpose. And I guess that's the environmental side of me. That sounds like a waste of something to buy. Well, yeah, environmental part, financial part of me is if you're just getting it and you're using it, crumpling it up, then throwing it away. Why would I do that? The it's probably well reusable wrapping paper. That sounds like using bags of stuff. But is there because you can't really make it reusable because people just rip through it. But you can make a heavy duty one where they have to undo it by the tape. Have to be, well, if it's that heavy duty, then it might not wrap around because you couldn't you'd have to have it in the right shape for all the packages. So you wouldn't be able to customize the size of it, or you could have it in multiple sizes. But I might need to clip that out. That might be my idea. Reusable wrapping paper, aka bags or boxes. But I don't think you could just have a bunch of Amazon cardboard type boxes underneath the tree. I guess you could, but if you get multiple gifts in one box, then and if they were for multiple people, then one person just might be opening up both of them. Because you got to put a label on that too. There are probably other things that also there's one time use like that where you just get it, use it, then you immediately throw it away. Wrapping paper, I just haven't enjoyed that. So also, I don't get, I haven't bought wrapping paper. I don't know the last time I wrapped something in wrapping paper that I bought. I wrapped something else, but there was a station somewhere where they said free wrapping paper and you could do it yourself. I do understand why people go somewhere to have things wrapped because, yeah, it would get kind of boring. Depending on how many you have to wrap, it's not sound very much fun, but some people still do it. I don't. I try not to. Wrapping paper, I do not enjoy. Okay. Well, so I got that was my holiday rant. Not using vacation from work to have a stressful travel trip. Rather have it where it's just wherever I want to go. Okay. What do I want to talk about next? Okay. So something I've been seeing on social media often are the videos of surgeries or accidents, well, mainly surgeries happening of things like root canals, scoliosis videos, where it almost makes those surgeries sound or look like they aren't that bad. The root canal one, they may just go in, scrape. I don't know how a root canal's done, but I don't know. It sounds like they scrape it out, just take out all the insides of it, put in some other material, flash it with something, and put a crown or something on it. I think that's how it goes. Or a root canal, you gotta take something out. I think that's describes getting a crown for a cavity. Either way, they put it on there, and you're like, oh, this doesn't sound terrible at all. But then, because I know a couple people who've had root canals, and that's not how they act at all. They're crying in their sleep. They're not, well, if they're able to sleep, they're just crying in their bed, not able to go to sleep at all because of all the pain. The scoliosis one, they made it look so simple. There's like, oh, you cut down the center, you put these steel rods in there, and it just straightens out. But I think it makes it look simpler or kind of like surgery you want to get because there isn't any blood in it. Because that would be one of the issues, which they probably make it during surgeries where I don't bleed as much. There's still like a bunch of stuff everywhere, and it's not as clear to see. So I think those are kind of cool to see on social media. One of the more interesting ones, and I don't know, there are a couple that I think were more interesting, like the root canal scoliosis. They showed what happens if your, well, these are too similar. If your nose gets cut off, somehow they're able to take a piece of skin and like regrow a nose. And there's also able to do that for an ear. They're like, oh, if your ear gets cut off, this is what happens. They take this piece, I forget where they took the piece of skin from. They took it, then they cut your head open, put the ear in there for a little bit. It grows whatever to whatever size. Then they showed next that they cut the arm open, put the ear in there, so it got whatever nerves going on in there. And at the end of it, they're able to sew it back on, and you're just able to grow another ear. But if I saw someone growing an ear, that'd be one of the freakiest things to see. Well, for they probably give him a fake ear. What was that TV show where they have a fake ear? I forget what show it was, but they had him go around with the fake ear because he was missing an ear. But I think they would give him that. It would be noticeable, which hey, you get a fake ear, okay, whatever. But if I see one growing out of your forehead, I would not be able to focus too much if having a conversation with them. Or if I shook someone's hand and I was looking at their forearm and there's just an ear sticking out of there, that'll also be one of the freakier things. How does that get there? What is going on? Because that's a crazy surgery to get. I understand wanting to have a new ear. I would want to do that if my ear, something happened to my ear, and I get cut off. But man, that would be one of the freakiest things. And the nose one, I forget how the nose one happened. But then one that's not a video of a surgery, it was a steel pipe going through someone's head. Like somehow the pipe went through like the right way. The guy lived. It like went through the bottom, went through his eye, like yeah, get a fake eye, and some part of his brain where I guess you can live without. I think what's the part of the brain that keeps your emotions in check? Because I think it was that one. They said at the end of the video, oh, this guy lived a life. He was angry all the time. He was irrational, just upset with everyone. But I think it was that part of the brain, which I guess he lived without. Some people live without that part of the brain without even getting it cut out. But it was that video? I think it was a railroad rod. Now, man, it makes those surgeries or accidents look a lot less gruesome than they are. I don't know if there are a lot of dental one, yeah, the root canal one. I don't think there were too many other ones, but those videos, usually when I see those, I stop and watch those because I find those pretty interesting to watch. Okay. Oh, the other videos I stopped to watch are the chocolatier videos. I usually see those, I think, more on Facebook. Each of these algorithms, they, yeah, they clearly don't, the different social media companies don't have the same algorithms, but each of the different ones have very different videos showing up on like the For You page, like suggested videos. But the chocolatier ones, those I stop for those usually too, watch those. Which those, which food cooking videos, I've been stopping to watch those since I was in college. Those, they always make food. I don't plan on making the food. I don't I'm not that much of a chef, more of an assembler where I just assemble ingredients cold. Things aren't really heated up. Like they aren't piping hot. Things aren't like being mixed together, whisked in. That's not too much. That just takes more time. And especially during the week, I don't really want to do that. So I try to like bake or cook things in bigger batches that last for like 3 or 4 days and then just assemble all the different ingredients together. The cooking videos, like tasty videos, I always stopped to watch those. Those were they like some of them were like, oh, 3 ingredients to do this. Oh, if you only have this stuff in your kitchen, this is how you make it all together. So those have been interesting. I would watch those and think, oh, I could make this pepperoni pizza in my microwave or like this cheesecake in my microwave. That was also one I think, which I've always enjoyed watching those, but more recently, like the past couple of years, been the chocolatier videos. So I would watch those. They even made I watched the Netflix thing on it. I forget what the guy's name is, like AG, like Amory. It's not Armani, but something like that. He made a Netflix thing on his chocolatier thing, and I watched that. You would go through like the techniques of doing different things. Say, oh, this is how you make like a clear sphere. This is how you get chocolates get stick together. You score it, so you scrape it, then you like put some different kind of chocolate on it, then you scrape like the part you want to put into it and push those together, and those make them stick. So I watched that. That was really interesting. I liked watching that because people would also get cut. Then they would have to make those giant sculpture things like of different themes, kind of like other kind of like Food Network baking shows. But this one's on Netflix, so I was able to get through all the commercial without any commercials like Food Network does. Food Network, well, with me a lot of things, but the commercials just get in the way of things. They're a lot more interesting things like food videos. We also watched a lot of Chopped, which that was when I was trying to lose weight during wrestling season. I don't know why. It's probably just because I couldn't eat the food, but I would watch the Chopped show very often. So that one, that takes a lot of creativity to do. But with it, I think it would be better if they had a limited pantry as well, because a lot of time it's, oh, I'm going to make this super intricate dish that I know how to make already very good. I'm just going to sprinkle in this special ingredient. You're supposed to make the special ingredient the focus. That's only like one part of it because you also have like the overall taste, the presentation of it for it. So it would be nice, which I guess it is a limited pantry already, but it has a lot of things I've never heard of, used or heard of before. But I enjoyed watching that one. for it. Other ones, the Unwrapped with the Mark Summers. I watched that one was pretty old. That was one was a little older, but I like watching that one for it. The chocolate one, yeah, they make so many different things. No chance of me making it. The chocolatier one, was yeah, just making things out of chocolate. I wonder if that stuff tastes good. A lot of the some of the time there are desserts like throughout it. Like, oh, cut this, it's like some sort of cake. But one of the things like I don't know how you make that much chocolate in mass and it tastes good. Because they have the thing where it's just you, like hit a button, it just flows chocolate out of it. And I don't know if that how much is in there, but I wonder how good that tastes in there. It shows these huge, intricate things. They have a football helmet, made an entire bar out of chocolate. It's really cool to see. I don't know how he has time for all this because I think he's supposed to. I think he teaches chocolate classes. But I don't know how long they take. Some of them, I think he says it takes like 4 days to do. But he's the only one on those videos. So I don't know what his assistants, if he has any assistants, because he never shows them. All those videos are just him smiling on them. Which if I was an assistant, I would like some sort of shout out on there. But if he does it all himself, it's even more impressive. I don't think he could. 'Cause some of those like the size of those structures, no way he gets them all by himself. But he also might be like the top chocolatier in the world. So maybe he does. Watching those videos, because that's with some of the other intricate desserts. One, does it taste good because you make it so big and you have all this stuff? And two, how do you serve it? Because you take a couple pieces off of there, this entire thing's just going down. Is this just a show piece to have? No, then that's okay, that would be pretty wasteful too, which I don't think they would have that. They probably have it where they eat the entire structure of it, but as those pretty cool things that I like to see in my social media feed. The other ones, I don't really I don't like or comment on a lot of things. I usually just scroll past it, but I think it knows if I watch it for half a second that I'm interested in it, which that also has the downside where you stop, you're just trying to figure out what's going on at all, or you're just trying to read the caption of it and you can figure out what's going on from there. But I don't know. If it's done an okay job. If not, then maybe I just gotta create a new account from scratch for it. Okay, so talk to your videos. Okay. Oh, okay. So I think I'm gonna go and see the live action Mo Mufasa movie soon. I'm not sure if it's still in theaters. It might be only you can buy it online for it, but I'm scared it's not gonna be as good as I hope it is because I really enjoy the Lion King's series. Lion King, Lion King 2, Lion King, I think it was two and a half. Then they had the live action. The reason I scared it's not going to be as good as like the original ones is well, the original one, Lion King. I don't know. I very much enjoyed that. I watched that a couple months ago. So my wife never saw it, so I don't know. Had to make her watch it, which I think she knew Mufasa died, but I don't think she knew how or when. She didn't know it was so soon in the movie. So when that happened, I saw a couple tears flowing from her face for that. But I really like that one. I might like the second one more than the first one. That a lot of, I think there are a lot of people who don't like the second one, which is turning a movie podcast, which I got a limited range on those. I don't know too much about like directors, producers of things, about how like different universes are combined together, like the crossovers between them. Yeah, I got limited range on that. Mostly comedy movies from the 2000s to 2010s. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'll discuss them. Uh, yeah, so Lion 2 with Kovu, I enjoyed that one because I don't know, got some new characters. It might also be that one's not shown as much, so that's why I don't know, I like it more because Lion King would be on, see that often. Lion King 2, not as much. But I like that one. The 2.5 one, I I think I only saw that one on DVD. That's I don't know, it's kind of a weird one. It's like Timon and Pumbaa story, I think. Yeah, I don't know. That one was okay. I guess but the live action one, that one came out not that it came out over the past 10 years, I would guess. That one, I don't know. I just didn't like the way it looks. A lot of the live action movies, I don't like the way they look. This look kind of weird, doesn't move, they don't move right. Doesn't look like the words are coming out properly. It's like I think it was saw Beauty and the Beast one. This didn't look really right. I wish they would have done this one anime like they did the original ones. I think that would have been cooler to see. But I think I'm going to see that. I think it's more probably more interesting. I don't think these are based on books, or they might be, and I just don't know that they're books at all. Books are common or comic books. I think they're sh straight movie ideas, so that's pretty cool. Where people don't know until they see the movie what's going to happen with it. They can't say, "Oh, I read the book, like this thing's going to happen in the end." They haven't done that for it. I think I'll see that. Wish it wasn't live action. I don't really know how it's going to happen. I think if I was to guess, I would guess that somehow they're going to show Scar being attacked by Mufasa. They'll figure out what Scar's real name was, and he's going to attack him, and then that's how he's going to put the scar on his face. I think in the first one, Scar talked about how Mufasa got the kingdom and he didn't. So we'll probably explain more about that. And I have to watch that clip of what he says of what went down. So that way I know, oh, I'll be surprised by it. I'll probably, yeah, probably sneak some snacks in there. My go-to movie snacks, it's here. When I was a kid, it was snow caps. Those ones, I mean, they're fine now. If I get them, it's more for nostalgia purposes. They're not the best. I also don't know, like, I don't know, like it's chocolate covered in like, I don't know, like white sprinkles, white ball sprinkles. I don't know what those are supposed to taste like. But I definitely get the chocolate covered cookie dough bites. Those I very much enjoy. I get the Reese's Pieces occasionally. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, those are better than the Reese's Pieces. But the Reese's Pieces, there's just more of them. You can eat them for longer. There's like a piece of dust floating there. I enjoy that. Movie popcorn, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. I mean, there's so much of it. Depending on movie theater I go to, it'll depend if I get it or not. Because if it's a busy time, like they're constantly making new popcorn, I'll be more inclined to get some. But if it's middle of the day, no one else is there, and popcorn's just sitting there, I don't really want to get it as much because it looks like it's stale and they're not constantly making it. Um, so Junior Mints, those are I get those occasionally going to the movies. But yeah, I usually it's not even sneaking. It's not even sneaking snacks into the movie theater. They know people do it. If they didn't want that, they would search through bags more. Or they'd say, "Oh, you're holding a jacket and a sweatshirt when it's 80 degrees outside. You don't need that. What's going on underneath there?" There were times where I've snuck in whole meals into the movies just because it happened to be at when I'll get hungry for a lunch for my lunch or dinner. And I was just it's usually if I did it would probably be around lunchtime. Because if it's around dinner time, there'd be too many other people around to do that. I usually try to go like in the afternoon-ish time where I know I'm not gonna fall asleep during it. Yeah, it's usually not hot food. It's not it's not a Chinese takeout order. It's not a hot pizza that I'm sneaking in there. It'd be, like I said, this assembled food together. But the other movie snacks, Butterfinger bites, not as much. Those I enjoy Butterfingers, but yeah, the amount that they're sucking in the teeth, that's difficult to get out. The other ones, I'm not much of a sour gummies person. Like Sour Patch Kids, they're fine. Not really do much for me. Twizzler, I enjoy strawberry Twizzlers. Those I've liked for a long time. I like those. Those are ones that can't be pulled apart. Because the pull apart ones, those are cherry. Those are okay, but I prefer the strawberry ones. I haven't had black licorice ones, the multicolored ones. I think I've had the multicolored ones. Those ones definitely aren't as good for it. Man, I should tier these or rank these. But yeah, man, chocolate covered cookie dough bites, I think those are the best ones to get for the movie theater snacks. The other ones, yeah, mainly chocolate ones, chocolate covered peanut butter with tough to decide. I like the Reese's Pieces better than the peanut butter M&Ms because the peanut butter M&Ms, what usually happens for me at least, is I bite it, I eat the chocolate part off of it, then like that hard peanut butter center is just there. For the Reese's peanut butter cups, that's harder to do. They're more mixed together, but that's what I like to do. I gotta stop any sentences with but. That's what I like to do. End of sentence. Okay, let me see. Do I have any other quick ones to go through? Um, yeah, enjoy the second movie more. Let's see here. Okay, last thing I'll talk about minor psychology classes. I'll talk about that next time. Fashion paper unnecessary. Okay, yeah. So with since I had more time during the holidays, I did I did go swimming in a pool. It was an indoor pool or so it was a little easier temperature wise to get through. But the pool was only 3.5 feet. It went from 3.5 to 4.5 feet. That doesn't seem deep enough for a swimming pool. Like stuff. That's more of like a hangout pool. If you're gonna have people like actually swim, I think it has to be deeper than that. That's was just too low. Like no, not too. It was too shallow. That's what it is. It was too shallow. 'Cause I would push off the wall, start kicking. I don't know what the term for it is. Start kicking, and then I would be, at least from what I could tell, I don't know, water probably made it look closer, but I felt like I was like pretty close to the bottom of the pool. I was probably going down deeper than I should have. But I tried doing that. It was felt too shallow. There was also probably way too, tasted like too many chemicals in the pool. I think I was drinking in more water than I should have. But that's what happens because I'm not the best swimmer. I haven't swam, which when I even say swam, I meant like not seriously, but like tried to like swim for it and not just like sit in a pool. It was probably about a year ago or so. So yeah, it's been a while. I think I want to do more of it because it's just something that's difficult to me. I want to try to make it less difficult. This isn't me saying out a goal of doing a triathlon, which maybe, but I don't think so. It's triathlon is the running part of, well, it depends how long of a triathlon it would be. The running part of it, if it yeah, do that. The bike part of it, I don't own a bike, but how difficult would that be? I mean, everyone knows how to ride a bike. That's one of the first things you learn how to do. You go outside is you learn how to ride a bike so that way you can go places. So I wouldn't be the fastest on there, but I think I could figure it out. But the swimming part of it, that would definitely be my lowest on there. Because I took swimming lessons as a kid. I'd wake up in the summer mornings, be there. The high school, college age lifeguards would be there, which as a kid, everyone knows, but they would be there. They would be hungover, not wanting to be there at 7 or 8 in the morning. They would be there with their toe rings on, which I don't know what happened to those. Toe rings just stopped happening. So the lifeguards would be there. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, oh, cool, toe rings. Um, yeah, that was weird. Would go there. I I forget what level I got to. It was like level 6 or 7. I don't remember what happened, but I would go through. I got past each level. Then when I got the levels each year, like I would get to the next one. Then level 6. I don't know what happened. I just didn't do the testing. I just sat on the side. I don't know if it was a crampy reason. I don't remember like anything being injured. As a kid, you don't have long-term injuries. That happens once you graduate college and you're mid 20s, you start getting injuries that will stay with you the rest of your life that just don't go away and you don't know how they got there. But I just didn't. And then I remember having a donut afterwards, like, oh yeah, well, I did some of the testing. After a little bit, I was like, oh, I feel good enough, I can go in. So I did some of it. Couldn't backfloat, still can't backfloat. Don't know how it's done. It's impossible. I mean, it's pretty simple. You go into a pool, you don't touch the ground, you sink. You don't float. That's That's an impossible thing to do. But if someone's testing, I didn't pass the next one. My mom asked me, "Oh, do you want to go back, try it again next year?" I said no. And she said, "Okay, well, you know how to swim good enough, so you don't have to." So that was about it. Didn't really try swimming. I think I tried swimming, what was it, 6 years ago? I tried to do it constantly, like on a week. I tried to do it on a weekly basis. Try to do it, never talked to a coach or anything. Just kind of freestyled it, like the stroke. Get it? I think that was a pun. I just go there, go as far as I could without drowning. I think after a while I picked it up, like the breathing part of it, but still not great. There was, when I went there a couple days ago, there was an adult getting a swim lesson from another adult, which I didn't ask, but I was curious on how much that would cost to get. Like I said, I'm not that serious about it, but I think just having a month of lessons would improve so much. I'm not trying to do all these different strokes. I'm not trying to do breaststroke, maybe backstroke, because that one does seem easier. But the difficulty with that is this pool doesn't have the flags on it, so I don't know when I would be too close to the wall, and I would definitely run into the wall doing it that way, or I would just be thinking in the back of my head about it, and then think, oh, I'm at the wall, so I'm going to stop here. Then I would only be like halfway down the pool. I do imagine that happening. Well, there's strokes. Um, what's the one? What's the frog one? Breaststroke. Did I say that? No, I said breaststroke already. Because there's one where you go over butterfly. Yeah, those are their ones. Butterfly, breaststroke, backstroke, freestyle. Yeah, I'm only trying to do freestyle. I don't need to go crazy and do those other ones. Those ones look way more difficult. I just want to get the freestyle one down. But not swimming, we'll see. Maybe I'll do that more. It is, again, something difficult because it's supposed to be like, oh, it's nice, relaxing, go down there. If I go down one, I don't know what length this pool is. I also don't know meters. I use meters for things, but I've never seen a meter. In an Olympic pool, I forget that one's 50. I don't know how long this one is. Maybe I'll have to walk down it and just convert from yards to meters for it. But it's not super long for it. I think it might be, and that's something I thought about in other areas too. It's just getting a coach for it, like getting a coach not for like an extended period of time, just for a month and say, hey, I just want to meet a couple times, give me some basic improvements, things to work on, then try it on my own for a little bit, then maybe reconnect with that coach in 3 to 6 months and show them, hey, I worked on these things. What can I do next? Rather than relying on that coach for everything, sending them everything, showing them everything, meeting on a weekly basis, meeting 3 times a week. I'd rather just have it meet weekly for a month, take a break, me work on my own, then come back and say, oh, is it better? And hopefully it is. I work on it enough. Because with the weekly stuff as well, if you don't work on it that week, then not embarrassing, but kind of a waste if you say, oh, I didn't try any of this stuff on my own. But if you have like that more month, you say, oh, I tried it this many times. So at least you tried it, but but maybe not as much as you should have for it. I think swimming is, I find it pretty difficult to do. Never been a great swimmer. That's why I also kind of stay out of lakes and oceans because if something happened, the boat goes down, you gotta swim somewhere. I don't think I'm gonna make it very far. I'll try, but once I start taking in salt water, which I'm staying out of the ocean, I've been in the ocean, I don't know, enough times, but I'm not going out into it. That's crazy. I've seen enough, well, even haven't seen enough, heard enough about what happens. There are sharks out there. Oh, sharks barely attack people. You have to be doing this thing. They have to be having this issue. Not trying it. That's okay. I don't need to go into the ocean. Even the beach. I mean, yeah, going to the beach is cool, hanging out, but I don't really get. I don't need to go there as much now. Yeah, hang out in the sand, that's okay. There's not many things to do on the beach anyways. But yeah, going in the ocean, I don't know if I'll go in the ocean again. That's pretty okay with me. But even lakes, I've gone out on them, but I haven't seen anything that makes me want that I haven't seen anything that makes me want to go out there and see more of the lake. You go on a boat, take some laps around, hang out, play some music. Okay, but I also haven't want to go out there too much or a river, the Mississippi River, Ohio River, gross. All that runoff from it, gross. That's another part. Besides not being the best swimmer, is they're so gross in it. Oh, you go in the pool, so many chemicals, so many other things if it's not properly maintained. I'd rather go in there than a lake. Like lakes, some of them are deeper than others. You can swim, don't have to swim as far if something bad happens. But I don't need to risk that. So I'll just stay out of those areas. And I'll stick to pools. I'm not gonna have my own pool because there's too much upkeep for that. You feel compelled to use it all the time. If you get a pool, if the house you buy doesn't have already, it would cost a lot. You gotta make sure you don't have other pipes back there blocking the way for it. But you gotta have all these chemicals. You gotta make sure things don't go down. Then other people want to come over. So you're hosting people more. They want to use your pool because they don't have one. I don't need a pool. I'm not that into swimming. If I want to swim, I'll go to the gym, find a gym that has a pool, go there when I need it. Okay, so got my timer here. Try not to be too distracted on it. Just try to use my phone for topics only. That is the end of this episode. Thank you very much for listening to me talk about things that just come across my mind this past week. Please like, subscribe, comment. Like I said at the beginning, these episodes are stacked up, but as they come out, I'll be in the comments. And if there are suggestions for things to fix, I'll try to fix it on the next episode I record after that. Thanks. Bye.